How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. You probably don't have enough Bitcoin. You're probably not ready enough for this next Bitcoin bull run. It will seem like it in times like this, where we're going sideways for a while, where price is boring, where we take a dip every once in a while, but then things get away from you. I think a lot of people were bored back around this point, 40,000, then boom, straight up. Before that, people were bored around here at 25,000, and boom, straight up. Never got back down to those levels. Now, we have some big news here today. We have a lot of big news. We have to go through it. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. If you do want to get these positions ready, I have been noticing people are getting positions ready for this next move. Most likely up, could be down, but they're getting their positions ready. If you do want to check out the link underneath the video to Margex, you can get started trading in just a few seconds. There's also a deposit bonus when you go over to CoinW as well. I've mentioned this in a couple videos, but they give up to 1,000 USDT for you to trade with, and the profits are withdrawable. So there's a link to CoinW underneath the video as well. Also, I'm going to talk about Black Card Coin later in the video, but let's start here. Hong Kong Bitcoin ETF saw 32 million in inflows yesterday. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. That is the whole new issuance of Bitcoin. The entire amount that was mined yesterday basically just went to the Hong Kong ETFs. Keep in mind, there are a lot of other ETFs that are buying too. Let's scroll over to, where is it? Well, let's just go here. Bitcoin ETFs saw 105 million yesterday, and over the last 15 days, they pulled in 2.4 billion. Okay, this is insane. 2.4 billion. They say, Eric Balcana says, year-to-date net 14 billion plus. The ability to bounce back with renewed interest after a couple nasty sell-offs is rare for hot sauce type strategies. Show staying power. Okay, so this is a good point. We had a massive influx of capital, then it went away. We actually saw net outflows for a little while, then it came back. So this is not just a flash in the pan. A lot of people think, oh, the demand's done for Bitcoin ETFs. It's not. It's not. The reason for that, we'll get to later in the video. There's a reason people are allocating so much to crypto right now and to Bitcoin specifically. But first, there are a couple other pieces of news. The first spot Bitcoin ETF in Australia starts trading today. So we're going to start tracking the Australian ETFs, the Hong Kong ETFs, the US ETFs. Maybe it's a nothing burger, but my guess is there will be some inflows over time. We also have Thailand. The Thailand equivalent of the SEC is approving the first spot Bitcoin ETF. Bullish. Okay, bullish. You don't have enough Bitcoin. The reason for all this, we'll get to right after I talk about Black Card Coin. Now, I'm always on the hunt for interesting projects within crypto, and one that I've been watching is Black Card Coin. They have this zero-fee real crypto credit card. Now, of course, always do your due diligence. This is a partner of the channel. Check them out underneath the video. They have instant card activation, unlimited global spending, 13% instant starter cash back in their token. You can earn instant 10% on all referrals, simple KYC, and instant card access, accepting all cryptos for payment. So if there is some crypto that you want to use, you actually want to use as a currency, you can use it as payment here. You get 10% instant cash back on card usage. There are also no fees from withdrawing cash at ATMs. Go give them a follow on Twitter. So I'm probably going to continue to cover them, give you a little bit more information about them over time. They also have a tradable token. Right now it's around $100 million market cap, and that's the current market cap. The fully diluted is around $3 billion. You can see where it's tradable here: Gate.io, Mexi, BitGet, PancakeSwap, etc. So if you do want to check them out, there are links underneath the video. Now, why do so many people want in on the Bitcoin ETFs? Why do so many people want Bitcoin in general? M2 expansion is starting again. So the money supply is increasing, and generally when M2 moves up, Bitcoin moves up. You can see M2 moving up here, Bitcoin moving up in lockstep. The reason for this is we continue to see more and more US dollars, more and more US dollars, more and more global dollars, more and more global dollars. We continue to see expansion of the money supplies. It's this hamster wheel where they're not getting enough money from taxes, so then they have to print money essentially and spend it on things to get votes, to increase prosperity, to improve the lives of everyone in the nation. But what happens is eventually they start getting the money supply to expand too quickly, right? They're eating too much. They're eating too much, and eventually, is that a good explainer? They're eating too much. Eventually, they overdo it, and people look for assets. People look for assets to be able to preserve purchasing power. You might think, and I kind of covered this in a video yesterday, but this is a really good chart that I saw today. You might think you can go invest in the S&P 500 and you're going to outperform. You're going to gain wealth over time. That's not really the case. The S&P 500 moves almost directly with M2 money supply. Sometimes it outperforms a little bit, sometimes it underperforms a little bit, but generally, like, this is the constant that pushes up the stock market. Now, some people feel like they're becoming richer by investing in the S&P 500, but that's not really the case. The CPI seems like it's at 2, 3, 4%, and that if you get 10% returns, you're outperforming. But these are arbitrary assets, or these are arbitrary prices that they put on the CPI. They can change them. They often do change them. It's just a random basket of goods, right? It's not what you're actually spending your money on. It's not a weighted US consumer index where they weight exactly how the normal US consumer spends their money and tracks that over time. Okay? So they're using this arbitrary number. M2, or the expansion of the money supply, is really what you want to look at. If you want to buy assets or you want to buy normal goods and services, they move up much closer to the M2 money supply or the global money supply. So you want to be watching that. And as you can see here, the S&P 500 moves in lockstep. Now, there are some things that you might buy, like a house, that part of the cost stays at fixed price. So if you put all your net worth then basically in the S&P 500 and you have some of these fixed expenses, maybe you get slightly richer over time because some of your expenses stayed the same, but a lot of it inflates. Whether you're buying a new car, whether you're paying for electricity, whether you're buying food. So what do? Well, you put your money in something that's price inelastic, like Bitcoin. Okay? That's why Bitcoin performs so well when M2 money goes up. People continue to buy Bitcoin, and there's not any more Bitcoin made. All right? So there are a couple, Bitcoin's the best example of this. Maybe another example would be like really good prime real estate on water. But even that, you can build up, you can build condos, you can expand. If Miami becomes too expensive, you can move 30 minutes north, 30 minutes south, and that will happen. So Bitcoin is really the best example of something that's price inelastic. No matter what the price is, people will probably want to keep on buying, right? Increase allocation, and there's not going to be any more Bitcoin that's made. If the price goes down, there's not going to be any more Bitcoin that's made. They only have, or we know the exact amount of Bitcoin every day from here till 2140 and beyond. Okay. So that is why people continue to buy Bitcoin. Also, we do know that the US banking system is looking interesting. They are warning now $517 billion in unrealized losses hits U.S. banking system as FDIC warns 63 lenders on the brink of insolvency. Okay, so there are a lot of entities that have notes that are underwater or basically aren't worth what they were worth when the banks bought them, and if there's some kind of bank run, there could be an issue. Honestly, I don't think this will be that big of an issue because they did announce that they're doing a buyback program for $2 billion. I don't remember if it's $2 billion a week or $2 billion a month, but they're buying back treasury notes. So I don't think this will end up being an issue, and I think they'll step in. but it shows some of the cracks in our system. It shows some of the problems that we have. Okay, Alex Becker, one of the biggest crypto YouTubers out there that doesn't even make videos that often. He says, I usually don't ever call anything, but this is just the most blatant Bitcoin coil up before a bull I've ever seen. I'm feeling underexposed on my long-term orange coin bag. All right, everyone, what more do you need to hear, right? Bitcoin has been trending sideways since March, early March. So we're talking 3 months. And it's coiling up. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We're seeing M2 increase. We're seeing regulation around crypto get much more dovish, get much better for cryptocurrencies. We're going to see a blow off. We're going to see a massive move up at some point. The question is, when is it? But if you're in it for the long haul, it doesn't really matter. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Let me know, when do you think we'll start moving up? When do you think we break all-time highs? Maybe it's a fun thing. Let's see who's right down below in the comment section. Again, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to Margex and to CoinW. I trade on both platforms. I like both platforms, so definitely check that out underneath the video. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.